you already know, I'm Jodi Wellman. What you don't know is that I think I have 1,759 Mondays left to live until I die. Yeah, I know that sounds weird. And I am so excited to be here this morning to remind you all that you're totally gonna die too. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a great 20 minutes together, yeah. No one's getting out of here alive, yeah. I don't mean like literally at Wahasu, I mean just like in the span of your life, yeah. And the real reason we're here talking about this is because it's the contemplation of your ultimate and inevitable demise that is precisely the thing that can help you to wake up and live with more urgency and intensity and passion, right? This is what we want. Another thing we want is to get to the end and feel like we led a squander-free life. Am I right? Yeah. You want to get there and you want to be giving a little middle finger to our friend the Grim Reaper, saying, I showed up like I meant it, right? The alternative isn't so hot, and I think this is the way that many of us feel. Please raise your hand if you feel like me sometimes, like you live in autopilot. Don't leave a girl hanging on the stage. I want all your hands up, thank you. Yeah. Autopilot, right? We succumb to routines. We end up kind of going through the motions in life. And anybody here show up at work sometimes feeling like you're sleepwalking? Yeah. We're like highly functioning zombies, which sounds kind of good, but yet it's not so good. Yeah. We want to get to the end and have that distinct feeling like we killed it before, of course, we get killed. Yeah. So let's just do a little bit of a, size the prize about how much time we really do have. This is based on a US average, and your results may vary depending where you are, but men will roughly blow out 78 candles. Good stuff, yep. Women, lucky us, we get to blow out a few more, yeah. And so, of course, I then get nosy, and I also think that it's contemplating and counting. Don't count your money, count your Mondays. This is about saying, how much time do you have left? This is what I'd love for us to do. And I'm gonna take a risk here. So like, hypothetically speaking, if I was to ask you to take out your device and pull up your calculator app, could I trust you not to check your texts? Yeah, do this with me right now. We're gonna count we're gonna do some mortality math. Take out your phones, please, and thank you. I like how math got you all excited. That was awfully weird here. Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. If you identify as female, type 83 in to your calculator. If you identify as male, type 78. And if you don't identify with either gender, cool, type in 80. And minus your age. You have a number in front of you, but we don't care about that number because what we want to do is multiply that by 52. That's the number of weeks in a year, duh, yeah. And then now, here's, I think, a little extra. You get a bonus week because you didn't know this, but your ticket to Wahasu got you an extra week of life. Yes. Karen, she's always over-delivering, isn't she? Yeah. Yeah. And so this now, the number on your calculator, if you didn't totally mess it up, is roughly the number of Mondays that you have left-ish. And can I, just for shits and giggles, get somebody to throw out for me? The first person to tell me your number is going to get a little, oh, right here, hi. 1,000. Wait, I'm sorry, what was the number there? 1,664. Better than 1666. Here, I'm gonna throw you, by the way, I'm gonna give anybody that comes up to me afterwards, I'm gonna sign books, I'm gonna be roaming around aimlessly. I will give you, if you come tell me how many Mondays you have left, or if you write it on your skin or on your wristband, I will give you a gemstone tombstone to always remember that you are dying. And because you went first, I don't know where this is gonna end up. I just hope it's not in someone's face. Okay, thank you. You're going home a winner today. All right, so, and then of course the question is like, how does the number make you feel? Scared? Anything else? Like you've got to get to work, you said? What was that there? Abundant. Well, we're gonna high five you from here. Yeah, I love it. I realize that I rankle, right? Like this is kind of what I do for a living is I want to poke us in the ribs in order to give you that little jolt that we normally don't want to talk about. I know this is a minutely morbid topic, yeah. But again, it's for good reason. That scared feeling that I've got to get down to work, yeah, some of it can come with that sense of urgency that is exactly what then can transpose into motivation to use this time wisely. Because guys, we get 4,000 weeks on average. That's why I called my company 4,000 Mondays. It's always up to us how we want to shape our time, how we want to design our days. And we've been talking about that all day yesterday, is that so much is within our control in this bizarrely uncontrollable world about how we want to go about our days. So let's talk about our days. Let's talk about, though, this topic is called Memento Mori. Not sure if anybody's heard of this before. It's the old Latin phrase, and it means, remember we must die. Again, super uplifting. And if anybody here has seen Steve Jobs' commencement speech for Stanford, anybody? Yes, required watching, watch it before bed tonight. He addresses the fact that after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, this was like a year later, he thought he was in the clear. And he said that death is very likely the single best invention ever. This is from the guy that invented a pretty decent laptop, right? He said that death is life's change agent. Don't you love that? But we don't want to have to get a cancer diagnosis in order to feel that way, right? We want to tap into that starting today in hopefully a healthy way. We want to avoid getting to the end and feeling like, oh man, just a bunch of regrets. So let's talk about regrets for a second, because there are regrets of commission, stupid stuff you did, wish you didn't. You got a bunch of them, I can see. And then over here we have regrets of omission, which are the ones that we're more concerned about. These are our missed opportunities, the paths we didn't take, like those dreams we have for ourselves where we're like, I would have really loved to, learn how to speak Spanish, or plan that really amazing family reunion in Ireland. Or I would love to have gone back to school and studied positive psychology. Imagine, yeah. All the things. And yet, many of us, though, will get to the end and feel that sense of the regret of a life left unlived. And I want to tell you a story right now about my dear, sweet, dead mom. When she was 58, she died of a heart attack. And this isn't the story of the typical, me grieving a lovely mom, love you, mom. I'm assuming you're up there and not down there. This is a story really that changed my life. 2 days after she died, I was cleaning out her one-bedroom apartment. All of her animals were milling around me. It's another story. And those big roll-top desks? I rolled up her top desk. And it was almost like it overflowed with dreams and goals and plans that she did not take action on. I call it the land of dormant intentions. My mom was so creative, and she had in her drawers and in her laptop and in all the cubbies of this roll-top desk, she had stories and manuscripts and business cards that she printed out, and all these plans and ideas that she didn't really have the confidence to execute, and that she thought, I'll get to do it later. But she didn't have a later to get to do it because she died unexpectedly. And I'll be honest with you, it struck me to the core because the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I could see that in myself. I thought, oh, honey bunny, I'm a dreamer, but not always a doer. I've got all these ideas and thoughts and books inside me, and I thought, I do not want to get to the end and have my dreams buried with me, or cremated with me, in my case. And so that really was a wake-up call for me. So the number one thing, I've got a few ideas for us all in order to make the most of this time we've been granted. The number one thing is to identify your pregrets. I like how you're taking photos of this right now. It shows you're really alert and you're really paying attention. Pregrets, by the way, my made-up word for regrets that actually haven't happened yet because you're not on your deathbed. And please immediately knock on wood, something, yeah. You have a chance and a choice to interrupt a regret in the making, right? If you wanted to go back to school, or you wanted to apply for that big, amazing, exciting job, or you want to get on the stage here, or you want to do all these things, they can be tiny things, they can be big things, it does not matter. You still have a chance to course correct it. So identifying those things that, man, if I was to go back home tonight and, kick the bucket, what would I be feeling tonight on my deathbed that I would be kicking myself for? Those are the things you can course correct. So that's the number one thing. Identify those regrets, and maybe at the end of our conversation today, you'll pick something that you might want to take action on. Hint, hint. Yeah. So this is my highly scientific drawing of the relationship between the quality of life and the quantity of life. Yep. Yay, we're living longer, good stuff. But is it good stuff? Because we want to live well while we're living longer, ideally, this whole longevity project. So I look at life in terms of two different dimensions, and it, I think, provides us a fabulous framework in order to look at how we're spending our time. So there's this dimension of vitality, which is the width part, okay? And this is like literally widening our lives. It ranges from the unfortunate side of doing what I do a lot, which is the Netflix coma, yeah? Where you're just bored, you're not really engaged, you're, sometimes it's not to be confused with a really good night of resting, but just not engaged in life. Yeah, we know this. Please, don't, you know this. Yes, thank you. Thank you, jeez, gosh. All the way over to feeling like you participated, you showed up, you tried the tasting menus, you went on the trips and you initiated some learning and some cool stuff and you tried and you did things, right? Like that distinct feeling of life is getting lived around here. Yeah. Okay, so scale of 1 to 10, where would you be roughly on this? Yeah, okay, think about that, hold that number in. Hold it. So this, for the well-being enthusiasts in the room, so all of you, this is the alignment to the hedonic side of well-being. But we gotta have the eudaimonic side, we gotta counterbalance this puppy. Can't all be fun and games. So we have this idea of living deeper in life with meaning. And we all must thank Michael Steger for inventing meaning. We just love that. This ranges from being on the depths of having no meaning whatsoever, that feeling of like an empty cavernous shell, no real purpose, all the way up to feeling like, oh man, I am like on target. I'm living my life. I'm feeling like there is some reason to wake up. Thank God I did wake up and now there's a reason to do something with this life today. Or it's having really good relationships, or maybe tuning into your spirituality, wonder, awe, all the cool things that are deeper in life. And then, of course, the cool thing is you jam this stuff together and you get this framework. So think, when I show you these, maybe where you are today. And this is also assuming that do your 1 to 10 in your mind right now, too, on meaning. Like, where would you be in terms of feeling a sense of meaning in your life today? 10 super meaningful, 1 empty. So we have our overview here. The first category, we're not going to go through these in major detail. Come see me later and I'll just like bore you to death with this stuff. But I'll tell you the meaningfully bored category, this is where most people in my research self-identify. And a hush went over the land. Oh, I see myself here. This is where, there's enough meaning. Maybe you're doing a meaningful-ish enough job, parents, kids, whatever you're doing, but you're like, I just need a little more fun. I just want to have can I just go out, like, just to one more concert? Yeah. The opposite end of that spectrum is called vitally empty, and this is the one that is where, oh yeah, you are getting out there. You are having the wide life. Things are very fun, but you do not feel really anchored in purpose. You are feeling empty. And then I don't even have to explain this guy. Yeah, this is, but I should normalize it. Many of us, in fact, in my research, more people identify with being in the dead zone than the alive zone. And this is where you're just lacking, like you're -5 on vitality and meaning. And we're allowed to dabble here. I mean, life is very complicated, but we just don't want to spend a lot of time there. Goes without saying. Where we really want is to be in this astonishingly alive category, obviously. And I just want to maybe, temper this by saying, I say astonishing, and I don't mean that it needs to be glitzy, like you spent last night out on a yacht, out on the water, and then your life is just so magnanimous and it looks so good on social media. I mean, unless that's for you. I mean, don't not go on your yacht, and please invite me later if you're gonna go back. But for most of us, like, you know deep down what it is that makes you feel astonishingly alive. Whether it's that it is going out and doing all the neat things and arranging the road trips and making sure you're frolicking in the beach at lunch today and doing all the cool stuff. Maybe that's your astonishing alive life. Mine's a little bit quieter, as more of an introvert, where I just love the movie on the couch with a cat and a glass of wine and a husband. Yeah. Just one husband. That sounded weird. One of many. Yeah. Actually, that could be a real widening activity in life. Yeah. All right. So speaking of, my next question for you, and I want you to think about this. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about how do I already widen my life? Like, is it through hobbies? Or maybe you want to rekindle a hobby that you used to do that used to make you feel really alive. Maybe it is about trying new foods. That's supposed to be caviar. Obviously, beverages can help, or maybe not. It could be about going out and arranging the picnic. It could be about having social engagements. Imagine that. Playing games. You guys get the idea. I'm going to take a risk here and ask you to turn to a partner, and right now you've got 30 seconds, and that's it. Actually, you're only getting 20. Life's short. We don't have this time. It's just like, get on with it. Tell your neighbor right now something you want to do to widen your life with vitality. 20 seconds, go. Okay, all right. I learned this technique. Wow, that's very effective. All right, hold that thought about vitality. Of course, my next question is, how do you want to deepen your life with meaning, right? This is the one where you might be thinking, well, hey, anybody here, by the way, you can admit this, it's a safe space. Anybody here not done a gratitude journal before? No one's admitting. Okay, a couple of you, all right, that's good. Okay, we will brainwash you by the end of this conference. Yeah, it could be about being out in nature, using your strengths, having basically a giving. We know how kindness works, learning, growing. That's why you're here this weekend. Maybe it's spirituality. Maybe it is being with other people, because apparently other people matter. Yeah. Someone said that once. This is another opportunity for you to stop and think. And I'm going to encourage you, spend time on this stuff thinking, this is only your one life. What would make your life feel deeper with meaning? And then I'm going to encourage you to dial up the novelty, because I am not the only one here that falls into the problem of habits, which we all know what that looks like, right? It's like the same cereal every single day, and it's the same reports at work every single week. Yeah, we need to shake shit up. Like, your life is a snow globe and I want you to shake it. Just maybe gently, maybe violently, whatever you need to do in order to spice up. Because there is a ton of well-being research that novelty is crucial for the human experience of being alive. So we've covered some ground here. What decision do you need to make about your one wild and precious life, as lovely Mary Oliver says? And it's probably going to be only one little thing, because not necessarily you got to blow up your whole life. And you do one little thing today and then it creates a ripple, maybe for other people in your life. Maybe you do one thing and it grows by the end of the year. You know, you make one change today, and next thing you know, a year from now, Wahasu next year, your life is looking a lot livelier than it was before. That's the plan. And all of this, of course, is in context. The elephant is in the room, the reaper, and he's not like literally in the room right now, I don't think, but we are limited time only situations and we get to be here. How lucky are we? And so what is one thing that you're going to do by the end of this month in order to feel like you are doing this life justice? Yeah, it's only in 15 days. Go forward, live this life like you mean it. Do not get to the end like my dear sweet mom with the cemetery of hopes and dreams. Guys, we get to be here. Go live like you mean it.